RBT family, what is the deal? It's your dog Willie Jack, and we are back, baby, back with more NFL football. Week 8 is here. Week 8 is here, people. So a lot of exciting matchups to talk about today for sure, man. And then also, man, if y'all caught that Thursday night game, man, definitely a little news, or not necessarily news, but a little bit to talk about in that Thursday night game. Of course, we're talking about the Vikings on the road at the Rams. A little bit of controversy from that game as well. So y'all know what time it is, man. Go ahead, sit down, get your coffee together. You know what I'm saying? Get real comfortable. Tapping with your dog, man. We're gonna get the party started for sure. So, look at this. Look at this. On time. Look at that. Mom Deuce, appreciate you. Have a blessed show as always. Will do. Appreciate you, lady. As always. Look at that. On time and the first one in the chat. I appreciate you. And then the rest of y'all, I see y'all in here now. I see y'all in my views now. Don't be in my views and not in my chat, man. Y'all know the rules, man. Ain't no free rides around here. There's no free rides. Drop some in my chat. Tap in with your dog. Talk to me. You know I talk back. You know what's going on. And then, matter of fact, man, while I let y'all get in here and get real comfortable, we might as well go ahead and talk a little bit about that Thursday night game. So if you saw this game, now here's the thing about this. This is why this game was important to myself, because going into this week for sure, or this past week, big names were hitting the trade market like we know. We've seen guys getting moved around. And so Cooper Kupp specifically is the guy that I had particular interest in, because it's no secret, my Steelers need a receiver. We've been in need of another receiver, in dire need. And so we've struck out on, I guess, most notably Brandon Ayuk to start the season. We know how that went. And then, honestly, I'm not even sure if we were sniffing around DeAndre Hopkins or not. But it looks like once he became available, or pseudo-available, and I'm talking about Cooper Kupp, that's been the guy that the Steelers have been just completely locked in on, trying to make that happen. And expectation was that a loss Thursday night to Minnesota, which would all but kind of, close the door on a potential playoff run for the Rams, would mean that Cooper Kupp and Matt Stafford, could be guys that are on the move as the Rams go ahead and begin the process of tearing that thing down and build it back up. And so I definitely had an interest in the game for sure because of those reasons. And then lo and behold, Rams go out there and win and get a W. So, and then not only do they win, Sean McVay comes out in the post-game press conference and, tries to eliminate any potential trade talks or trade consideration for Cooper Kupp specifically. I'm not even sure. I don't think he even kind of mentioned or delved into Matt Stafford and him potentially moving. But the Cooper Kupp talks or rumors, seems like there was definitely something percolating there. And Sean, with this win, definitely did his best to put the kibosh on any potential move being made by the trade deadline. Now, here's the thing about that as well. I'm curious if Les Snead necessarily feels the same way as far as, this win, which did give life. And I think the Rams, I'm going to double check. I want to say the Rams are now 3-4? I want to say, and matter of fact, if you're in the chat, drop in the chat and let your boy know. But I want to say the Rams are 3-4. And honestly, the way this NFC West is looking, I mean, they're right there in the thick of it. They really are. The Niners are a bit down this year. I think the Niners are also 3-4, I want to say. And then the Cardinals are right there in that mix. I think the Cardinals may be a game back. Maybe the Cardinals they're either 2-4 or maybe right there in that 3-4 mix as well. So all these guys are pretty much clumped together. And then, of course, with the team sitting at the top of that division, the Seattle Seahawks. And Big Gino them sitting in first place. I'll let you dog. And so that the NFC West is definitely wide open. 3-4 is firmly still in the hunt for sure. And so it looks like, unfortunately, Cooper Kupp may not be on the move, and maybe my Steelers gonna have to go somewhere else. And so that's unfortunate for me. Now, getting into the game itself, I didn't expect this game to be honestly, I mean, I didn't expect it to be necessarily as not only competitive as it was, but just the back and forth scoring, almost out the gate. Out the gate, I think the Rams come down, get a touchdown. Minnesota comes right back. I mean, they trade. It's 14-14. Was it 14-14 after the first quarter? Actually, let me double check that. No, I'm lying to you. 14-14 at halftime, but it's 14-7. Three touchdowns scored in that first quarter. Back to back to back. It seems like they just kind of went back and forth. The Rams get another one in that second quarter to tie it up at halftime. And so that I didn't necessarily expect to see, especially with Cooper Kupp, of course, coming back from injury. He's been awfully banged up these last couple of years. Missed a lot of time. I think, he got hurt in the second game of the season this year and had been out since then. Puka's also been banged up. And so now the Rams, for the first time in quite a while, they get their offensive nucleus all back on the field, all relatively healthy and ready to go. And they didn't disappoint. Matt Stafford was extremely sharp in this one for the most part. 279 yards, 4 touchdowns thrown in this one, 1 interception. And now it looks like, man, I don't know if maybe there's finally enough film on this Brian Flores defense, because this is the second week in a row in which we've seen teams have some success against this defense on the ground and in the air. Because Kyron Williams also had a very solid day, 23 carries for 97 yards in this one to go along with the damage that we saw Matt Stafford be able to do in the air. And so which is also something to keep an eye on, man, because for the first 5 weeks for sure, definitely the Vikings started 5-0, but for those first 5 weeks, I mean, Brian Flores looked like he had found a modern day 2024 version of the 85 Bears. I mean, they were just stifling anybody who came into that building. And so now, like I said, we're approaching that halfway point, and maybe teams are starting to kind of finally fine tune and find the holes in this defense to be able to find success. And so kudos to Sean McVay, kudos to Matt Stafford for sure. And I'm telling you, man, Matt does look good. Matt does look good, man, especially now that he's got his weapons as well, man. Matt Stafford's pitching that thing. He definitely is. Made some great throws in this one. Like I said, 4 touchdowns against that Vikings offense, man. If you'd have told me this 3 weeks ago, I'd have said no way. No way in hell, especially the way the Rams were tracking and how they were looking. And so definitely big game for them. And like I said, puts them firmly back in the mix for this NFC West, especially with the Seahawks having a big game today in an AFC matchup. So not as detrimental, I guess, if you lose it, but still a big game today later on against Buffalo that we'll be sure to talk about for sure. Family in the building. What's going on, man? What's going on? Man, hey, look, I know you probably seen that Mizzou game, or at least a little bit. I couldn't even finish it, dog. It was brutal, man. It was rough. It was already going to be rough. The defense, especially like early on, man, the defense stayed competitive. They really did a good job getting after Jalen Milroe, getting home, getting pressures, getting sacks, and doing enough to like hold them to field goals. I think on their first two drives we held them to field goals, but offense couldn't get anything going at all. Brady Cook, man, for the legend that is Brady Cook now, especially after last week's comeback performance, going to the hospital, coming back, rising from the, you know what I'm saying, from the casket like Undertaker, coming back in and leading us to a victory last week, really submitting his, tenure as the Tigers starting quarterback. But man, I'm not gonna lie, man, he's just overmatched. When we go against other like real deal quality top of the line SEC competition, or just top of the line competition for that point anywhere, he's overmatched, man. He really is. He's overmatched, dog. But he starts this game. I think he played like the first 3 series before he left the game. And then the backup Pine came in, and then you could chalk that, man. You could chalk it. He ends up throwing 3 interceptions, but it was already going to be a rough day at the office with starter Brady Cook if he's able to finish out that game. But once he went out, then yeah, there was even that slight glimmer of hope was quickly extinguished. And so, yeah, man, I don't know what's going to happen with the hometown Tigers, man. I got to see the rest of their schedule, matter of fact, and see. And then also, we were ranked 21st. Our only other loss had been to Texas A&M. Texas A&M, for whatever reason, wasn't ranked when we lost to them initially, but they damn good. And they had a impressive win last night against LSU. LSU was top 10. LSU was ranked number 8. I think Texas A&M was up to 14 since they beat us. They went from unranked and now they're 14. But they end up winning convincingly against LSU. They beat LSU by I think 2 touchdowns. You know what I'm saying? So I would expect that Texas A&M now maybe jumps. Where are they at? 14? There's a chance they may kind of sniff getting to that. I don't know if they're going to jump inside the top 10, but I would imagine because LSU is going to fall, of course, taking the loss. In fact, now I got to check and see what the college landscape looks like. Y'all give me a second. Let's see what the college landscape looks like. Who else lost inside the top 10? No, I was thinking BYU won. Texas won a close one with Vanderbilt. Now, here's the thing as well about the Tigers' schedule. That Vanderbilt win earlier to start the season, that win is more impressive now. Because when at the time, I was like, damn, why are we struggling with Vanderbilt? We struggling with Vandy? Vandy's taking us to the wire? I think the Vanderbilt might have went to overtime. But we got that dub. Then Vanderbilt went and put pause on Alabama. And then they just had a very close game with Texas. Texas is on the road there. They lose to Texas 27-24. So that Vanderbilt win looks a lot better. That Texas A&M loss doesn't look nearly as bad, even though we were dominated in that game. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. The officiating in that game, especially right at the outset, really kind of helped put us in a little bit of a hole. But then A&M got rolling and never looked back in that game. But like I said, they'll sniff around. They'll be somewhere around 10-12. I think when the new poll comes out, especially after this win over LSU, or like I said, or they could jump in there. Like I said, I can't lie and say I would be too upset if they jumped. Let's say like BYU. BYU's at 11. They just beat UCF, but I'm not gonna hold Texas A&M in the SEC back from BYU in the Mountain West. I'm just not gonna do it. Or is that Mountain West now, or are they in the Big 12 now? Whatever the case. But that loss grows not impressive because we still got smacked, but still, it went from a dominating loss by an unranked team to now a team that is damn sure playing good ball and going to be somewhere around the top 10. So I'm not mad at that. I'm not mad at that at all. But yeah, going forward, man, I don't know what to expect from these Tigers. Also, man, while we talking college ball, did y'all see? Matter of fact, let me get my chat together, my captions together. Did y'all see the Colorado game last night? Because I don't know about y'all, man. It really doesn't. Colorado is really, and we've said it before, and it's no secret, but Colorado's one of those teams, man, where they just must see TV. Colorado's on TV, you got to watch, man. Colorado, Deion and them, Prime and them, Shadur and them, Travis Hunter and them. If Colorado's on TV, we got to watch it. We really got to. And honestly, they don't disappoint, man. They don't disappoint. Win, lose, or draw, those games are always entertaining. Generally speaking, there's always some style of highlight play. You know what I mean? Something Sports Center worthy. You know what I mean? And also, man, a lot of the times those games, for the most part, they stay in most of those games. I think they got smacked by Nebraska. But other than that, I'm trying to think off the top of my head. I think they've generally been pretty competitive in every game they've played, man. So good game last night, strong performance. Went out there, handled business against Cincinnati. Let me check and see what the final score of that game was. But I know they went out there. Okay, and now I can't see it. Big game, I want to say, definitely was a big game for Travis Hunter, Heisman hopeful Travis Hunter. Yeah, there we go. Final score, 34-23. So, yeah, Cincinnati scores 9 points in the fourth quarter to kind of tighten it up. Yeah, there we go. Because it did get a little tighter towards the end there. But big day for Travis Hunter. Shador has a pretty successful day. 320 yards, 2 touchdowns in the air. Both of those, 2 Travis Hunter, and then also a rushing touchdown as well. So 3 touchdown day for him. Here's what's impressive about the Buffalo team as well. They're really starting to settle in and find a decent running game, which had been a year and a half in the making. Because I mean, they were just literally no threat in the run game at all. And that offensive line definitely, man, spent a year and a half getting bullied around. But no, that offensive line is coming around in the protection and in the run game. Like I said, another successful day there. The lead rusher there had 22 carries for 91 yards and a touchdown. So they're finding some decent balance there. And then getting back to Travis Hunter, man. Getting back to Travis Hunter. 9 catches on 9 targets, 9 for 9. If you threw the ball to him, it was a catch. 9 catches, 153 yards, 2 touchdowns on the day. And then defensively, he had 4 pass breakups, and he came close to. There was one play for sure that jumps out that was close to an interception. He's covering a shallow or like a shallow in or shallow dig across the field. And like I say, he's right there on the receiver's hip, and the ball is thrown kind of on that back hip, and he almost got one. He almost got one, another interception as well, which would have really just really put a feather in his cap for his performance on the offensive side of the ball. But playing damn good ball, man. Playing damn good ball. This Heisman campaign, this Heisman race, I can't wait to see how it really unfolds. Ashton Genty, while we're talking Heisman hopefuls, so essentially it's a two-headed race right now, 2-horse race with those two at the top. And then there's some other interesting guys to still talk about and keep pace with. But those 2 guys are definitely at the head of the table. Ashton Genty, of course, the running back from Boise State. He had a big day as well. I'm going to just tell you specifically. I know he had roughly 30 carries? I want to say he had like 100 and he had roughly $150. Was it roughly $150? Give me 1 second. I'm gonna pull it up for us. Now since I'm talking about it. Boise, there we go. Boise on the road against UNLV. UNLV also has some interesting story this offseason, man, with their NIL dispute with their quarterback. He sits it down, and then the backup comes in, man, and they play damn good ball. There we go. Ashton Genty, 33 for $128 and a touchdown, keeping his Heisman campaign going as well. So definitely, man, interesting ball there. Those 2 guys, I mean, they can flip-flop every other week, it feels like. Travis had 2 kind of relatively quiet games before. I think they were in firm control in the win against Arizona. He didn't finish that game, got a little dinged up, so you save him. And so whatever, but he's back. He was full go in last night's game and didn't disappoint. If I had to rank them for you right now, I probably would still similar order, man. I'm going Travis 1, Genty 2, 3. I'm probably still going Cam Ward. 4. I think I finally give some love to Dylan Gabriel. Last time I talked about it, so I think I would have him at 4. And then 5 is interesting. It could have been Gus Nussmeier, guy from the quarterback from LSU. Now they take a 2-score loss last night to Texas A&M. Like I said, I think Milroe has fallen back with the back-to-back losses to Vandy and Tennessee, and then his performance in those being what's the right word? I guess subpar, let's say. And so I think he's kind of fell back. So, maybe there's room for somebody else to kind of throw their hat in the ring or jump in that mix, jump in that conversation. But I feel pretty good about those 4, man. So especially the 2 at the top and Hunter and Genty. And then the next 2, I think Cam Ward has been phenomenal all of this season. Even when he's made mistakes, he still atoned for those mistakes in game and got out of stadiums with W's. He had a receiving touchdown in his game yesterday as well, so he's still playing good ball. And then Dylan Gabriel in Oregon, they're rolling, man, out in the West, and so playing good ball out there as well. Now, let's go ahead and get into some of these games, man. Now, before we do, let's go ahead and get to some of these games. First up on this week's slate, man, Philadelphia on the road at Cincinnati. I think this is going to be a good game. I do, man. And so the Eagles finally, like I said, getting a little healthier. A.J. Brown back into that lineup. Devontae Smith now has his running mate. Saquon, of course, having the big game last week against his former team, the Giants. Had a chance to maybe go out there and really kind of stick it to him, rub a little salt in the wound. And kudos to him, man. He decided to be the bigger person, not take it that far. And I saw clips of the interview he did with the Pivot where, he even spoke on it like, look, man, it is what it is at this point, man. He's not out there looking to be vindictive and looking to, like get distracted by little sideline stories like that. Like, didn't want to make it bigger than what it was. He went out there, he balled, did what they needed to do to get the win. And like I said, no extras. And so kudos to him. Now, as far as this game goes, I think this is going to be a good back and forth game, man. Cincinnati and that defense, questionable, or like I said, they're not a terrific defense by any stretch of the imagination, and that can be said on both sides of the ball, man. So they've had they've turned in a decent performance or two, but by and large, for the on the whole for this season, that defense has given up a lot of points and yardage to other opposing teams, and I think this can be a game in which we get that, a nice back and forth. I do have Cincinnati coming out on top, going with the hometown kid, Joe Burrow. Philly's coming to Cincinnati. I think there'll be points scored on both sides, but I'm gonna give the edge to Joe Cool, man. Joe Cool and Jamar Chase. I'm gonna have them getting this one done. Just by a nose, just by a hair, 27-28 or 28-27, I should have said. Cincinnati with the win in this one. But like I said, I definitely expect this one to be competitive, man, and go down. I think maybe a deciding touchdown late in the fourth quarter is the difference for Cincinnati as they get this one done. Moving on, man. Next, more AFC North action. Baltimore at Cleveland. I expect Baltimore to get this done, man. So famous Jameis, you know what I'm saying? We had a free James campaign going, man, since from week 2. I think I seen 1 week of Deshaun. I was like, okay, yeah, it's time, man. Free James. Let's stop playing around. But now Jameis making this start, of course, with the unfortunate injury to Deshaun Watson. And I'm going to say this real quick, man. Regardless of how you feel about Deshaun Watson personally or any of that, regardless of all of that, man, I'm talking about, man, everything else is everything else. I don't want to see any player get hurt. I don't want to see any player lose their season due to injury. Now, if he got pulled for playing terrible, that'd have been just fine with me, man. But I hate to see any player, let alone Deshaun Watson, lose their season because of injury. Man, hold on, man. Who done slid in this thing, man? My dog, Jeff, man. Jeff flying that Eagles flag, man. What's going on, big dog? Hey, man, what you got? What's your score today, man? What you think your Eagles gonna do? I'm not gonna lie, man. I went back and forth on this Eagles Philly game. I gave the edge to Cincinnati, you know what I'm saying? Being at home, you know what I'm saying? So I gave the home team the slight nod there. But as you can see by my score, man, I think that game could go either way for sure. I think there's definitely an uptick in Jalen Hurts play with A.J. Brown back in the lineup for sure. And then, Saquon running like a madman. I expect this to be a big day for Saquon, honestly, against this Bengals defense, rushing and receiving. Seriously, this could be a 200-yard day for Saquon. I'm talking all purpose. So if Saquon goes 130 yards, another 65, 70 in the air, you know what I mean? Like, I wouldn't be surprised at all. And so I think Saquon has himself a day. But yeah, I did get the edge to Joe Burrow now, man. Playing at home, Joe Burrow's been lighting it up. Outside of they had the close win just last week where he had less than 200 yards. I think Jamar Chase had only 55 yards, but enough to get it done. But they've been lighting it up. They really have been lighting it up. That defense hasn't necessarily done its part for a lot of their games, and so this is a team. What the Bengals are? The Bengals 3-4, or are they 2-4 or 3-4? Either way, man, the Bengals are a team that could easily be 5-1 right now, 5-1, 5-2, depending on how many games they've played. And so, man, that's definitely gonna be a good one. I'm gonna say that's probably gonna be the game I got on the big TV. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna have a few games going, but that one's probably gonna be on the big TV, man. I can't wait to see that one. Can't wait to see that. Man, my dog, man, hold on. I keep forgetting to do this. Man, put the chat up first. I ain't gotta worry about who I'm missing. My dog Miles in here said the champs are here. The champs in this thing. I mean, you can't knock it, man. You know what I'm saying? A win is a win is a win all day long. Can't knock it. Can't knock it. Y'all should have an easy work today, man. It should be easy work today on the road in Kansas City West. Las Vegas may as well be Kansas City West at this point, so I don't expect much resistance. Today. Miles said he hoped the Bengals lose. I bet you do. You don't want to see Joe Beasley and them boys when it's crunch time. I bet you do hope they lose every game. I hope they lose every game as well, by and large, because they in the division. So I don't need, you know what I'm saying? They can stay where they at. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, Patty don't want to see them boys, and y'all don't want to have to see them boys if you don't want to. I mean, y'all show up and do what y'all got to do, but you know, y'all don't want to have to see Joe Beasley and them boys when it's crunch time. Not if y'all don't have to. So I don't blame you, man. I don't blame you at all. I ain't mad at you at all. But no, man, I do expect. I do think, man, I'm just giving the edge to the hometown kids, man. I think to go back and forth. I think Saquon really has a chance to take over this game for sure. But I'm gonna give the edge to the hometown kids, man. 27-28. Then where was I at? Baltimore, Cleveland. Cleveland with that defense, man, and Cleveland just generally, by and large, they generally play Baltimore pretty tight anyway. Now I'm not. I hope Jameis goes out there and balls. I ain't gonna lie. I hope Jameis goes out there, man. Nothing would make my day. Not much more would make my day. I don't want to go too far. But if Jameis went out there and aired that thing out, man. If Jameis went out there and got his Joe Flacco on, man. If Jameis went out there and hit them boys for 350 and 4 tuds, man, I'm telling you, I lose my mind. Go crazy, man. Go crazy. But by and large, man, I don't know if that's gonna happen. I do want to see how Lamar and Derrick Henry specifically fare against this Browns defense. You know what I mean? I do want to see that. This Browns defense very stingy. Denzel Ward balling, man. I was a big Denzel Ward coming into the league when he came out of Ohio State. He had a couple years where he was a little banged up and etc. But Denzel Ward is playing back to form for sure, and he's playing damn good ball, man. And so I definitely think like Cleveland has the horses at all 3 levels to run around the field with anybody. You know what I mean? They're strong on the front line, of course. Myles Garrett, Zadarius Smith. Zadarius Smith's got some trade talks around, you know what I mean? Some trade talks maybe around him. Maybe he's a piece that could be on the move. But while he's there, man, him and Myles Garrett are definitely always going to be a very strong duo on the front line. JOK, Jeremiah Owusu K. JOK, man, on the second level. Very, man, I really like him as a player. I remember he was coming in from Notre Dame. He played like that Joker role that we've seen guys like Derwin James and Jalen Ramsey play at Florida State, where you're half a linebacker, half a safety. I thought he was a little undersized, so to say. I thought he'd be a starting strong safety right now. He could be a start. He's an outside backer, but I thought coming in that he could have been and should have been a safety. Like I was that impressed with his film, especially in the pass game. But no, man, he's definitely a do it all guy on the second level as a linebacker, and then of course in the back end, man, like we already talked about Denzel Ward and the rest of that DB room. So they've got the horses to really make life difficult for Baltimore. And so this is another game I can't wait to really see. I want to see what Derrick Henry does against this defense, man, if he's able to break one or if they can keep him more so in line and in check. Same thing with Lamar in his rushing game. So this may be a game that maybe Lamar, has to do more of this game from the pocket is what I'm anticipating a little bit and eager to see. Because Lamar's been throwing the ball better than we've ever seen him throw the ball, for sure. You know what I mean? He had, 5 touchdowns just, 2 games ago? You know what I mean? So it's not that he can't do it, but I want to see in this one if it comes to that, if Cleveland is really making it difficult for either of those guys to find running lanes, now I want to see what Lamar does when he's got to sit back there, when he's got to drop back 35 times and deliver, man. And I want to see what Zay Flowers does. You know what I'm saying? Matching up against a guy like Denzel Ward. I get that matchup edge to Ward. Honestly, for sure. But no, man, this is going to be a good test for Baltimore for sure. And then also just on the other side, like I said, man, I want my dog Jameis to do what he got to do, man. I just want him to do what he got to do, put a couple points up. Nick Chubb, back, I think made his debut last week. So now, his second week back from a drastic season-ending injury last year. See what he does in this one as well, man. So this is gonna be a good ass game. It's gonna be a good game. I've got Baltimore win. I said all that didn't even give a score. I've got Baltimore coming away with the win, 23-16. But I definitely expect this to be a very tightly contested game, unless Jameis just shits the bed offensively. Excuse my language, especially this early in the morning. My bad. But unless Jameis just goes out there and just plays boo-boo ball, man, outside of that, I think that this is going to be a tightly contested game. I think the difference in this game, it's a one-score game. That score could be a 16-16 game, fourth quarter, 4 minutes left. Lamar and those boys go down and get it done, and we get a touchdown in that final minute and a half or so to take the edge or to take the lead and then to kind of get out there with the dub. So I can't wait to see this one for sure. Hold on, I got some comments, man. What's going on? My dog Matt said he hope he get off the show. I think he's talking about Jameis. If you talk about Jameis, I'm right there with you, bro. I hope Jameis air that hoe out, bro. I'm telling you, nothing would make me feel better. And you know what? Matter of fact, Chop, man, wake your ass up. I'm telling you right now, Chop, you better hope Jameis don't have a day, boy. You better hope Jameis. Every highlight, Chop, I'm on your line, boy. I'm on your line today, Chop. You better hope Jameis don't air that thing out, man. You better hope so. Said Ravens about to run RPO for 3 quarters straight. They're going to try to. They're going to try to for sure. But that's the thing, though, bro. Like this Browns defense, bro, they got the horses, man. Most teams just don't have the horses to really keep up and compete, man, with that Ravens offense, like in that RPO run game for sure. But the Browns got them horses, bro. Like if there's 4 or 5 defenses that really are set up to maybe have like an optimal chance of slowing down or dare I say stopping Lamar and Derrick Henry in that run game and that offense, the Browns are one of those teams, man. Because they got real guys at every level. You know what I'm saying? So if there's a team out there that can do it, I think the Browns are one of those teams. Said Lamar throw 19 passes. If he throws 19 passes, then yeah, the Browns in trouble. Because that means they running the ball effectively. That means they have success running the ball. And that's actually a good number, man. If Lamar throws for less than 20 passes, then the run game is handling business. And it's business as usual. Yeah, it's business as usual. If Lamar throws for under 20 passes in this one, yeah, it's definitely business as usual. And that run game is doing what they got to do. And that means the Browns in trouble. So yeah, that's not bad, man. 19 might still be a little light. I think it may take more. I think 25 is a better number. If it's over or under 25 pass attempts. If it's over 25 pass attempts, I think the Browns defense is making life a little difficult on Henry and Lamar in that run game. But not to say that the Ravens won't win, because I do think this is going to be a game that Lamar's going to have to do a little bit more with his arm, because I think the Browns have, like I said, the horses up front, man, that really make life hell on that run game. So yeah, that's another one I can't wait to see today, man. It's like I said, I told y'all, man, it's a good matchup today. That Cincinnati Philly game is gonna be a good one. This Baltimore Cleveland game is another one. Now moving on to another one, man. We'll get in and out of this one real quick. Tennessee on the road at Detroit. That's gonna be a spanking, man. I don't know why I gave Tennessee that touchdown. That should be 28 to probably 6. I don't expect Detroit, especially at the crib. Mason Rudolph, Will Levis, doesn't matter which one, man. DeAndre Hopkins, who was a forgotten man on that team. You know, DeAndre Hopkins got less than 200 yards on the season. And now he's going to make his debut with Kansas City, but now he's gone. And so I don't expect much resistance, if any at all, from Tennessee as they go out to Detroit, man. And, man, just get participation trophies for showing up. Detroit should roll in this one. I'm going 28-10, man. But 28-10, a lot to a little is essentially what I could have said. This could be 35-3. Could be 42-0. I'll go 28-10 respectfully, but I expect Detroit to handle their business, man, and keep on rolling. Here's a question. And I've been holding off doing like a power ranking because I'm waiting for like the midpoint of the season. So we getting to that point. I think if this is week 8, maybe honestly by this time next week, man, we'll be week 9. Most teams have had roughly 8 games or so at that point. So then I'm planning on doing some style of power ranking, etc. But is Detroit the best team in the league, man? I know they've got a loss, and we know Kansas City's undefeated. I expect them to be undefeated after the day with the weak-ass Raiders. But, man, is there a team playing better ball right now than Detroit, man? I don't know. It's something to discuss, man. So I can't wait to finally kind of get in and line all that stuff out and talk to y'all about it, man. Moving on, man. Arizona on the road at Miami. Now, why this game is significant is Tua's back, man. Tua is back, expected to make his start. He's been cleared by every neurologist he's seen. No lingering effects. There's no additional threat to his mental capacities or faculties or whatever. There's no other lingering effects or lingering, I guess, concerns from the concussions sustained. Now, anybody who's playing football, anybody, you're always going to have threat of concussion because you're playing a game in which you run full speed and headbutt other 300-pound men. So the threat of concussion is always there for everyone. Like he's had more documented ones, more visible ones than we've seen. But realistically, honestly, it's hard to say. I don't know how. No, I was gonna say like how much of an outlier he really is in the grand scheme of this game in totality. Because guys get their bell runs, man. Not everybody that's getting their bell rung is a $250 million quarterback who you know what I'm saying, who the camera finds, it stays on him, you know what I'm saying, for all 60 snaps of the game. But it's, I don't know, man. I've already gave my thoughts on it. I'm not gonna get too deep in. I've already gave my thoughts on it. He's a grown man. If he wants to play ball, he should play ball. You know what I mean? Because far be it from me or anybody else to tell that man what to do with his life. He knows the consequences. He knows the risk involved. And if he's comfortable with it, who am I to say anything else, man? Now, Miles, we can't do that, dog. We can't do that, bruh. That's a grown man, dog. That's a grown man. You know what I mean? That's a grown man. Hey, you heard what Big Boy told T.I. little brother in ATL? He said, hey, man, this grown man, B.I., man. If you gonna be out here, you out here, dog. Don't dip your toes in this game if you ain't ready to handle your business. Little kid or not, bruh. That's how the game go, bruh. That's how life go. You can't put your feet in this pool, man, if you ain't ready to get bit by a shark, period. And so, hey, Tua a grown man. You know what I'm saying? So I ain't gonna never tell a grown man what he should or shouldn't do. You know what I mean? I'm sure he's had people in his circle. If I'm in his circle, hey man, you done cashed a lot of bread. You got guaranteed money still there to recoup. I think he still got 120 on the guarantee for injury, roughly or something. I can't remember the number now. Maybe it wasn't that high. Maybe it was like 70 or something, whatever it is. But hey man, sometimes it be like that, man. Hey, what money Mitch just saying paid in full, bro? I just seen paid in full like yesterday randomly. He said, man, if he leave the game, are they still gonna love me, man? And maybe Tua feeling like that, dog. If I leave the game, they still gonna love me, man. He says it's like a fighter, man. The coach has to protect the fighter. I mean, yeah. I mean, to an extent. To an extent. Yeah. But that's the thing, though. Like, the medical people he's clear. Internal and external neurologists, anybody they set him in front of, gave him a clear bill of health. Now, man, RP to the guy, but Ali, it was different. We saw Ali's deficiencies. We saw Evander Holyfield's deficiencies, James Toney. You know what I mean? Like, man, slurred speech, can't really talk clear. You know what I mean? Like, we seen these kind of deficiencies at the end, and they were still kind of in the ring. I think that's a little different. Because Tua, he ain't, I agree with that analogy. That's a good analogy, like a fighter. But Tua ain't got slurred speech, man. He ain't got slurred speech. He ain't like in the Rocky movie where the old coach slapped the shit out of him and Rocky didn't even see it coming. He's like, boy, I'm 90 years old. Boy, I'd have slept your ass if it was 60 years ago. You ain't see it coming. Slap the shit out of Rocky. Y'all don't know Rocky like that, man. I think that was Rocky 3. Yeah, I think it was Rocky 3. Where he's going to fight Mr. T. Mr. T beat his ass. And he was trying to fight again. And coach was like, nah, man, it's time to hang him on up. And slapped the taste out of his mouth. Rocky didn't see it. Like, boy, you supposed to be a champ. You supposed to get in the ring. You didn't see this damn hook coming from me at 90. So, man, Tua ain't got them deficiencies, dog, and he want to play. Here's the thing about it, too, that I was thinking about, Miles, is like, if you get forced to do, like, if you don't make that decision on your own and get forced to sit down, bro, like, that's something that, I don't know, man. Resentment does a lot to a man, dog. It's a lot of things a man could deal with. Dealing with pain, dealing with loss, that's part of the program. But resentment, man, resentment is what'll damage his personal circles. You know what I mean? I don't know, man. I don't know. He's a grown man, dog. I ain't gonna never tell a grown man what to do. I ain't gonna give him no advice he ain't asked for either. But hey, he's slated to make his return. I wish he would put on that goofy ass Guardian cap, but he came out and said he ain't even doing that. I mean, hey, He's a grown man, dog. He know everything that's at stake. And he's going in with eyes open. When he go in with his eyes open, hey man, all I can do is wish him the best. That being said, I do think they get a dub, man. Emotions are gonna be high in Miami at the crib. You got a very winnable game. You know what I'm saying? Against an Arizona Cardinals team that they're game and they're a game opponent in most of their matchups. But I don't expect them to be a real. Like I said, they're a good enough opponent to get in and break yourself back into the league game. You know what I'm saying? To get yourself restarted. This is a very winnable game at the crib. Emotions are going to be high. That team's going to be fired up and juiced up. Everybody's going to be on pins and needles for sure. But I think Tua and that Miami Dolphins team going to have a lot of momentum behind them today, man. I expect them to get it done. 24-17, get this dub. And then hopefully, and assumedly so, let's say Tua gets this through this one healthy. Man, I want to see what they could do, man. Is there still time for the Dolphins to salvage the rest of their season with Tua coming back today? I'm assuming they get that win, and then let's see what they do going forward. They should be the Bills are the class of this division right now, and I think they're 5-2. But the Jets are 3-4. I think the Dolphins are a game behind the Jets. So there's still a chance, man. If they can Tua stays healthy and they get back rolling, man. If they string together, they put together a strong run these next 5-6 games, man. It's interesting to see where they line up in that division and see, like I said, man, if this season can be salvaged. So I'm here to see it, man. I'm here to see it. Hold on, man. Who else in the building, man? My dog Tom, man. Terrible Time Walker holding it down for them Houston Texans, man. Letting y'all know if you didn't know. Texas going to the Super Bowl, man. So, hey, what's up to my dog for sure? Appreciate you, homeboy. Appreciate you. Hold on, I see you sliding in this thing as well. Fam, bam, man. Baby sis in the building said, good morning, Weebles. The nation in the... Hey, you know what's going on, man? Big Nation business going on, man. Big Nation business has arrived. Appreciate you. Y'all know what's going on. Yes, ma'am. Let's keep it rolling, man. The Jets on the road at New England. I don't expect much from this one, man. The Jets should be able to get back on in the win column. I got them winning this game 23-10. The Patriots in that defense, that defense has been a little up and down, man. They're still talented. This is a familiar opponent for sure. I do think that maybe there's a chance for the New England to, kind of make this a little difficult, maybe in the early going. That Jets offense really still just hasn't gelled. It hasn't found its groove now 8 weeks into the season. This is week 2 of Devontae Adams and A. Ryan, reuniting. Hopefully it ain't yet felt good, but maybe today will be that day, man. I've got the Jets getting this done 23-10, but I want to see what Drake May looks like, man. Drake May, he's looked pretty decent, man. Especially, I wasn't a big Drake May guy at all coming into the season. He was my quarterback 5 by a clear margin. I did not think at all he was in the same class of the guys like Caleb Williams, Jaden Daniels, and Michael Penix Jr. was that third guy for me for sure. And those were the clear top 3s in my book. And I didn't think he was in that class at all. But 2 starts into the year for him, and honestly, he's looked decent, man. I think he's looked solid, and so we'll see what he does with this Jets defense. Hassan Reddick finally ends his holdout. They come back to the table with the Jets. They rework some style of deal for the remainder of the season. Of course, all those fines and things that he had accrued to this point have been washed away, and so he's expected to make his debut as well. This Patriots offensive line has been a problem point for them all year long, and now you get Hassan Reddick, who's had 8 weeks of pent up frustration and anger, and now he's got fresh legs screaming off the edge, man. So curious to see what Hassan Reddick looks like in this one. I want to see what Drake May does in this one, by and large, just on the whole as far as his performance goes. But then also I expect the Jets to get in the win column. And I'm curious to see as well, man, what's Devontae look like, man? They got a young guy over there, Christian Gonzalez, for the Patriots. And I want to see, how often he's matched up with Devontae Adams, and then just how A. Ryan and Devontae move and operate in this game, man. But I expect them to get a dub. Moving on, man. Atlanta on the road at Tampa Bay. Man, I feel bad for Tampa Bay, man. Not Tampa Bay. I feel bad for Big Baker Mayfield, man. Big Bake, man. His 2 top targets, his 2 top weapons down and out. Chris Godwin for the season for sure. Mike Evans, that timeline is to be determined, but there's no one else really in that receiver room. I still, you know what? I watched that game against the Ravens. Who's receiver 3 for the Bucks? I still don't know. I don't know who's starting this game on the outside. Tampa Bay, and now also that Thursday night overtime loss to Atlanta earlier in the year it hurts that much more because now this time around you let that one get away. You were in their building. You essentially were dominating that. I mean, they were in pretty firm control of the game, but just could never put Atlanta away. And then late mistakes at the end of that game, a costly fumble by your rookie, not capitalizing off a late interception, not getting the first down to run out the clock. I mean, so they had the chance to win that game, and kudos to Atlanta for coming back in now and getting into overtime. And then Kirk puts those boys to bed in overtime before Tampa Bay gets the ball back, man, and they salvage a win there. Well, now that loss almost counts as 2 because now at this point in the season, you get them in your building now, and now instead of getting even, you might get bopped on again. Like who's Baker throwing the ball to? And the run game for Tampa Bay has always been a sore spot for some years now. They've had some flashes from the young guy Bucky Irvin, and I can't even, it's almost like a 3-headed kind of a 3-horse stable over there in Tampa Bay. Now they've got another young guy that's came in to also pick up some of those carries from Rashad White, but I don't know what to expect for Tampa Bay, man. I do think Atlanta, who coming off of a loss to Seattle, and now you get a weakened division opponent. You're on the road. I got Atlanta getting it done, man. Just for the sake of, like I said, man, I don't know who Baker's throwing the ball to. So I got Atlanta 24-20. Now that I just said all that, damn, where are those 20 points coming from? But it is what it is, man. 24-20, Atlanta gets it done on the road. And yeah, man, this one's gonna hurt, man, because with Mike Evans timeline being unknown, Chris Godwin out of there, that run game being inconsistent, that defense definitely being able to be picked on, man. It looks like a promising Tampa Bay season to start. They start 4-1. That they're the only team to beat Detroit. They did it in Detroit. You know what I mean? That's a very impressive win. Second game of the season. And so with a promising year by the Buccaneers to start, and it looks like, man, it may be starting the process of burning down all around them, man. Unfortunately so. Moving on, man. Green Bay on the road at Jacksonville. I expect Green Bay to get this done. 27-20. Jordan Love is he's one of these. I don't know, man. He's extremely talented, dynamic, but man, he's also a little. He hasn't settled into his comfortable medium. He's either throwing lasers, throwing touchdown darts, or throwing off inaccurate interceptions. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of the tale of two worlds there for him. But the good thing is though, I don't want to say good thing. The thing about it is, to this point, is even in the games that he's had multiple turnovers, he's also kind of canceled them out with with touchdowns or with great plays in those same games to help them still leave those same stadiums with wins. And so going back, we've had Brett Favre there, we've had Aaron Rodgers, and now Jordan Love on that pendulum of Favre to Rodgers. He probably leans a little more towards the Favre side, but we've seen it. We've seen it in Green Bay where, I mean, Brett Favre won a lot of games throwing 3 touchdowns and 2 interceptions in the same game. He won a lot of games. He won a lot of MVPs doing that week in and week out. Won a Super Bowl doing that. Went to another one doing that. And so it can be done. Green Bay knows that well enough. This is still a very young, very talented team. And so I expect them to get it done. Jacksonville, like I said, man, I'd hate to be Shad Khan. I don't like at all the feeling. If I'm a Jaguars fan or if I'm in that building, I don't feel good about giving Trevor Lawrence $275 million. I just don't. And he hasn't shown enough to me to be the difference maker of the ilk that 275. Like I just don't get. I'm not getting my $275 million worth when I feel like I watched Trevor Lawrence play football. But be that as it may, I do like the young receiver there, Brian Thomas Jr. Want to see what he does, man, with Jair Alexander in this one. And so, I expect them to, find ways to score some points a little bit in this one. But I think Green Bay should be in relative control of this one, barring Jordan Love just consistently giving Jacksonville the ball to the point to where they, they're able to kind of make it maybe a little more interesting than it should be. But I've got Green Bay getting this done 27-20 on the road. Moving on, man. Indy on the road at Houston. Shout out to my dog, Tom. He already told y'all how he feel, man. He got them Texans to the Super Bowl as usual. I do have Houston winning this one 23-20. Division matchup. Teams that know each other well. Anthony Richardson, I think this is going to be his second or third start back from the injury. Now here's the thing for me, man. This is what I want to see. It's time for CJ. I want CJ to get back to being himself, man, or to looking like himself. CJ's had a couple rough outings, man, to this point in the year. Ugly week last week. Like I said, man, what? I think he had like 10 completions for less than 100 yards, two interceptions. And so I want to see CJ Stroud in this offense get back to in this passing offense, I should say, get back to the level of play that we expect to see from them, man. And I want to see them do it in this week, a divisional matchup at the crib, at home. So important game as far as the division race goes. And then also lining up, you know what I'm saying? We're getting to that point in the season. We're getting to that halfway point where these games are starting to be a little more weighted, a little more heavily as far as playoff seeding down the road is concerned. So I want to see CJ Stroud and that passing offense get back on track. Still without Nico Collins, right? But it's time to see really, Steph Diggs and Tank Dell really kind of it's time for them to kind of find that groove and get back in the swing so that this team can keep, get back on the trajectory that a lot of us had them on. Good thing is Joe Mixon's still toting that thing, man. Joe Mixon is really toting the pill well for Houston. And so assuming he can still give you what he's giving you in the run game, all we need is to see CJ Stroud and that passing offense do their part. And then you still got a young, aggressive Houston Texans defense as well. Will Anderson, see how many times he can get home against Anthony Richardson in this one as well. And then, Jalen Petrie and corner from LSU, man. Gotta see, I can't think of his name. See what that secondary does with Josh Downs and Michael Pittman Jr. as well. And so I definitely think this should be a pretty. I think it's going to be a nice, tight, contested game. Like I said, division rivals and the whole nine there. CJ Stroud maybe not playing his best ball recently, and so I want to see him get back on track and find a way to get out of there with a much needed win against a division opponent. Hold on, who else in this thing, man? Hey, y'all know what time it is, man. Come on, man. Monday night, man, prime time. You know what's going on. Big Nation business in the building, man. Shout out to my dog, D-Dot, man. Appreciate you, homeboy. Yeah, they know what's going on, man. It's going to be an easy Sunday for me, man. It's an easy Sunday. You know what I'm saying? The guys don't play till Monday night. I just get to sit back, relax, and enjoy everybody else playing ball today. You know what I'm saying? I don't have the tension is going to be low. When we real smooth, easy peasy. I don't have to have a drink before 12 o'clock today to calm my nerves. You know what I mean? It's going to be a real chill Sunday for your dog, man. And then we should handle our business on Monday night. Of course, you know what I'm saying? We'll get there. But yeah, man, moving on, man. New Orleans on the road at the Chargers. I got the Chargers handling business here, 20-13. The Chargers are just boring football. I just don't enjoy watching them play football. And I like defense. I like strong defense and a strong running game. I'm not necessarily opposed to that, but it's just, I don't know, man. I'm just not. This is a game I probably, if there's a game I probably watch the least, this is gonna be one of them. No, I ain't gonna lie. Carolina and Denver, I'm not gonna watch much of that one either, unless they give me a reason to. Be that as it may, rookie Spencer Rattler still in the starting lineup, I believe, for Derek Carr. This is another team, man, like the Bucs we were talking about. The receiver room is very beat up. And then on the Chargers side, their receiver room ain't beat up. They just trash. They just ain't no good. But they've got young Quentin Johnston. You got Ladd McConkey and some other guys. We'll see what J.K. Dobbins and that defense does. I expect that defense to really carry today. Specifically, that defense for the Chargers, quiet as kept. I think they're the number one scoring defense in the league right now. So I definitely expect them to make it difficult on the rookie Spencer Rattler. And then, I expect that running game to settle in and really kind of pace the game. We saw Justin Herbert throw for 350 yards last week in a loss, 15-12 loss, no touchdowns, 350 yards in the air. And so, I'm gonna get out of this, man. This game doesn't tickle my fancy at all. But I do expect the Chargers to get a dub at home. Now, here's my game of the week. Buffalo on the road at Seattle. I think this is a definitely a very good matchup, very strong matchup. Seattle had a very impressive win last week on the road in Atlanta and dominated. You know what I mean? Like, in firm control, dominated that game in Atlanta. And so now they're back at home now. They went from the West Coast to the East Coast last week, and now we've got Buffalo making that return trip for them. So now Seattle's back at home. Buffalo going all the way from the East Coast of New York to Washington, and to play in a hostile environment for sure. We know what that Seattle fan base and what that stadium is known for. The 12th man and the noise that they do there. That Seattle Seahawks pass rush is getting back on track, man. Boye Mafe and Donnell. I can't think of the other kid's name. But Boye Mafe and the rest of the guys in that front seven, they kind of getting a little healthier. You still got those guys on the outside, and Devon Witherspoon and Reek Woolen as well. And so I definitely want to see what Buffalo and Big Josh is able to do in a hostile environment on the road. Second week now with Amari Cooper in that lineup. Was able to touch paint, man. Was able to touch paint in his first game. Keon Coleman, the rookie from Florida State, had his biggest game of the year last week. Went over 120 yards in that one. And so want to see them keep progressing. And of course, man, I like both guys in this one, man. I got my dog Big Josh. We got Big Gino. Y'all know what's going on, man. How I feel about both those guys, but I am going with my dog Big Josh to get this done on the road, man. Big Josh is playing fantastic football, man. Big Josh has what? He's responsible. He's had 18 touchdowns, no turnovers to this point in the season. You know what I'm saying? So playing damn good ball, clean football. Let's see if he can keep it up today in Seattle, like I said, in that hostile environment. But I think this is going to be a damn good game, man. I think it's going to be a damn good game. I do have Buffalo pulling this one out 27-24 on the road, and what should be a very entertaining game, man. I think this was going to be a good one to watch. Moving on, man. Carolina on the road at Denver. Like I said, between this and that New Orleans and Chargers game, just games I'm just not interested or don't have. I'm not excited at all to see. Unfortunately, I'm gonna have to watch a little bit of all of them, but I'm not excited to see much of this one. But Carolina on the road at Denver. Now, Bryce Young is making a return to the starting lineup, and it was overdue. Andy got in, had that spark. You put up some points. Andy played well. Andy's played ugly Bryce Young football for the last two games now at least. So it was probably the time to make that change anyway. But be that as it may, he is only officially getting his start because Andy Dalton got injured. Andy Dalton was in a minor, relatively so speaking, but a minor accident with his wife and kids, his family. He injured the thumb on his throwing hand, and so Bryce Young is returning to the starting lineup. He's gonna be without Adam Thielen and Deontay Johnson, his top two receiving threats. And then also this Denver defense is playing damn good football. So I expect it to be an ugly day for Bryce Young on the road, making his return against one of the top five scoring defenses in the league in the Denver Broncos. But be that as it may, man, I've got the Broncos getting it done 26-10 at home against the Panthers. Now, here we go. Kansas City at Las Vegas. Raiders are toast, man. And this thing about the Raiders, once they failed to secure a quarterback in both the offseason and the draft, this season was always going to be it was always going to be what it was. I didn't have much of much high of an outlook for the Raiders this season. When you're going into a season with your top two quarterback options being Gardner Minshew and Aiden O'Connell, I don't give a damn who's on the roster. You're in trouble. You know what I mean? You're in trouble. And also you let go of Josh Jacobs, so you can't fall back or depend on a dominant run game, which they have been able to show. Last year it was a down year, but the year before that, Josh Jacobs led the league in rushing. You know what I'm saying? So it's there. And so just an unfortunate year for the Raiders, if you're a Raiders fan. And also, man, unfortunate for Antonio Pierce, man, AP. So took over that coaching job on an interim basis, really rallied that locker room, was awarded that job the following year. That just doesn't happen often. They go ahead and give him that turn the team over to him in full to start this season. And honestly, man, there's a lot of things maybe that could have been or should have been done. Unfortunately, man, I hope not. I don't want to jinx you because I want to see young coaches get a chance. I want to see young black coaches get a chance, and I want to see former players get a chance to sit in those seats, man, to have those opportunities as coaches. And Antonio Pierce checks all three boxes for me there. We need diversity on these sidelines, and we also need the players to get a real chance to be on this side of the ball. You know what I mean? We hear guys like Ed Reed and Hines Ward and Antoine Randall and former players, Byron Leftwich. You know what I mean? Former players that are trying to break into coaching. And if you hear those guys talk about it, they tell you how the institution, so to say, is reticent to let those guys in the door. You know what I mean? And so these opportunities don't come around as often as we would think or we would want or we would like. And so Antonio Pierce being one of those guys that checks all of those boxes for me personally, if I had to imagine, man, the way I imagine this Raiders season playing out, I would think he's probably going to get the boot, man. And that's unfortunate, especially like I said, where, I mean, he just he ain't had the weapons, man. You got to have the horses. You got to have the horses. They just didn't have that. And so be that as it may, Kansas City has pretty much dominated this Raiders team. No, here's what's funny about that. Kansas City's undefeated right now, of course. The last team to beat Kansas City was Aiden O'Connell and the Raiders. As crazy as that sounds. And they did it. I think that's the game Aiden O'Connell threw 4 passes in the game or something, just something crazy. Something outrageous like that. Aiden O'Connell didn't throw a pass in the second half. You know what I'm saying? That style of game, and they found a way to beat Kansas City, the last team to do so. And so now I don't expect any type. Lightning's not going to strike twice in that aspect at all. And so I expect Kansas City to handle their business, man, to get this done. 24-13. And like I said, I'm anxious to see. I think Max Crosby generally has himself a pretty good day, or he's a nuisance for Kansas City. I should say that. And so I think, especially with Jawan Taylor at the right tackle spot, man, I expect Max Crosby should be able to find home, or at least make it a little difficult on Patty. But as far as escaping from the pocket and those type of things of that nature. But I do expect Kansas City to roll. I'm anxious to see what DeAndre Hopkins, man, what D-Hop looks like in Kansas City. I hope D-Hop in this Kansas City, I hope it works out, man. D-Hop shouldn't be 8 games into the season and have less than 200 yards, man. I just hate that narrative for DeAndre Hopkins, man. I think he still is a capable receiver in this league, and now I hope he gets the chance to prove me right now that he's with Patty and the boys at Kansas City. So I can't wait to see what he looks like in today's game. But Kansas City should handle their business and keep their undefeated streak alive and move to what? They should be able to move to 7-0, I believe. And I think they get this done 24-13 in Kansas City West, man, out there in Vegas. Moving on. Now, this, I'm not going to lie, I'm pretty excited to see this game as well, man. Number 1 versus number 2 matchup. First pick of the draft, Caleb Williams and his Chicago Bears on the road against number 2 pick of the draft, Jaden Daniels, making his return from injury, for the Washington Commanders. And so this is going to be should be a good, entertaining battle, man, of 2 young stars in the league for sure. Both these guys have been playing very well. Jaden Daniels, of course, being a guy, especially as a rookie, set the league on fire. We know what he did, especially in those first 4 games of the season. Caleb Williams had a little bit rougher of a start, but he's been playing damn good ball for these last 3 weeks, I want to say. And so we'll see kind of who has that edge today. Now, Jaden Daniels, like I said, he is expected to make his return to the starting lineup from the rib injury he suffered. Was that in the Baltimore game? No, not the Baltimore game. The next game after Baltimore. I think he only played like the first 2 series, or maybe the first series or first 2 series before he left that game with the rib injury. And so now expected to make his return in this one at home. But I'm giving the edge to Caleb Williams and the Chicago Bears, man. I think that Bears defense is playing damn good football. That Bears defense is playing lights out. And they've been doing so all year, even before, like prior to Caleb Williams kind of finding a little bit of a groove in the passing game as he has these last 3 games or so. Even before then, when he was playing ugly, just bad news Bears football, that defense was still lights out. That defense was still making it extremely hard for everybody that came into their building. They won some games strictly on the back of this defense, but Caleb couldn't do his part. And so that defense now, defense travels. That's one thing that we can say, a good defense travels. And I think the Bears have that. And you've got the rookie coming back from injury. And I think they can make this tough. I think it's going to be a tough, close-fought game. But I do have the Bears getting this one done, with the edge for me being the strength of that Bears defense and Caleb Williams being hot right now. Jaden Daniels was hot, in the first month of the season. Now he's coming back from injury. I don't know how those ribs feel right now. That's what I'm worried about too. Because a rib injury is one of those things where you're going to deal with that for quite a while. And especially a position like quarterback where boys are going to put some pads on you. You know what I mean? Boys going to hit you. You're going to get hit. You're going to get knocked down. You're going to get sacked. You're going to get bumped. You're going to get elbowed and nudged as we run by. Boys are going to check his temperature. You know what I'm saying? Boys is definitely going to check his temperature in this game, man, as far as Caleb or Jaden Daniels goes in his ribs. And I think that could be the difference, man. I've got Chicago getting this one done 23-19. My dog D-Dot, man, he said November 17th. What's going on the 17th? Let me know, man. What's going on the 17th? Holla at me, man. Let me know what's going on. And then, man, moving on, man. Sunday night, Dallas at San Francisco. I went back and forth on this one, man. The Niners are definitely not playing their best ball. They've had some up and down performances, but Brock Purdy, for me, especially the first month of the season, I thought he played damn good ball. The team was struggling, but I thought he was playing good ball. Last week for Brock Purdy was ugly football. That was easily his worst game of the year. I'm talking about that game against Kansas City. Where he throws 3 interceptions. Now, Patty threw 2 interceptions in that one as well, but it doesn't matter when you win, apparently. But Brock threw 3. One of those, a terrible interception in the short red zone. They were like on the inside the 10 or so, and he throws an interception on a pass that you just can't throw. It wasn't even one of those where maybe he's taking a chance, giving this guy. No, it was a bad decision, bad throw, and takes points off the board. But be that as it may, now you're at the crib. You get Dallas, old school rivalry. Dating back to the 80s, from the 80s up through the 90s, you know what I'm saying? Even the early parts of the 2000s a little bit, man. And so definitely a rivalry that's kind of regained a little steam here these last, let's say, 5 or 6 years or so, especially in the playoffs, with the Niners generally just being the team that has just generally having the upper hand in these matchups. And so now Dallas on the road, both these teams kind of struggling, both these teams reeling, both these teams in need of a win to kind of stop the bleeding and attempt to get their season on track as we approach this halfway point. I went back and forth on this one, but in the end, I did settle on the hometown San Francisco 49ers to get this done. It really just feels like the Niners have just had the Cowboys number for these last few years. And even though the Niners are banged up, they're without Brandon Ayuk. Debo is back, but he missed last week with pneumonia, and he has some illness and some things going on there. But he is slated to be back and ready to go for this game. George Kittle has spent some time in the tub a little bit to this point in the season, but he's been back now for three games or so. I'm not expected to have any issues with him. Jordan Mason, the undrafted running back who's been filling in admirably so for Christian McCaffrey, he's been a little banged up, but he's going to be ready to go in this one. Fred Warner still playing like the best middle linebacker in football. And so I still just, there's so many names and pieces on this Niners team on both sides of the ball. Nick Bosa matching up against a rookie and Tyler Guyton. Come on, man. And when he's not lining up on rookie Tyler Guyton, he gets to line up on Terrence Steele on the other side. Come on, man. Like, you know what I mean? Like, these are matchups that are just overly favorable in my mind for San Francisco. Now, here's what I want to see from Dallas. Dalvin Cook is finally going to make his debut with the Cowboys. I don't know what the hell took so long, Jerry. You know what I'm saying? But Dalvin Cook is slated to make his return. I hope he gets off too, man. I'm a huge Dalvin Cook fan, especially his time in Minnesota, of course. My dog Chopper tell y'all, man, there was a period of time in which I would always say this about Dalvin Cook. I really feel like he had the best vision of any back in football for a few years, man, when he was in Minnesota. And I love the tempo he runs with, because he's a guy, he's not a burner. You know what I mean? He's not Saquon Barkley in the open field where he can just hit another gear and get off. He's not Derrick Henry in the open field. He can hit another gear and get off. He's not Devin A. Chain, Raheem Mostert. He's not those guys. where he's just, you know what I mean, like where he's got 4.3 speed that he can't wait to unleash when he gets a crease. That's not his game. It's smooth. Like he's one of those guys where like he's got air shocks, man. He's going 80 and you can't tell. You know what I mean? Like anyway, I said that to say, big Dalvin Cook fan. He's finally making his debut for the Cowboys, and I'm eager to see what he looks like, man. Like I said, I hope he does well. But when it's all said and done, I do give the edge to the Niners in this matchup. Offensively, that Cowboys team is just something's missing, man. They don't have any punch. They don't have any panache. You know what I mean? They just don't have that real just like it factor that worries you. You know what I'm saying? And so I'm giving that edge to San Francisco to get this done today. Close game though. Like I said, I think it is going to be a close game, close field goal game, 23 to 21. I can see this game being 21-20 in the fourth quarter, and Brock Purdy and those Niners have to drive down, get themselves in field goal range, and let the kicker come in and bring them home, man. So that's how I see this one playing out. But I'm going San Francisco in a very in a close one, 23-21. Now, what my dog say? Oh yeah, we got them rep. Man, hey man. I'm not gonna lie. Man, this second half of the season gonna be brutal, dog. This second half of the season gonna be brutal. Now we've had damn good success against the Purple Birds, man, for like these last few years. I think we've won 8 out of the last 9 matchups against the Ravens, or something like that. We've been in pretty firm control as far as wins and losses go in the head-to-head matchups. But I ain't gonna lie, bruh. This Derrick Henry led Ravens, or this Derrick Henry style Ravens is a different animal, man. Because we in Pittsburgh, we've honestly, and I don't want to jinx us or get too far down the road. We got a game coming up, but we've done a pretty decent job of figuring out how to contain Lamar Jackson. You know what I mean? So we've got a good idea there, but it's a different ball game, man. Try to contain Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry. Like that's gonna be rough going, man. My dog Miles said Dallas should have paid Tony. Tony. Romo? Who you talking about? Should have paid Tony. Man, why am I blanking out? Should have paid Tony. Should have paid Tony. Help me out, dog. Who am I forgetting about? Tony who? Oh, Pollard. You talking about Tony Pollard? No, I'm going to do you one better. They should have paid Derrick Henry. That's where they fumbled. They should have paid. Derrick Henry, he's from Florida for one. I don't know why Derrick Henry lives in Dallas. He lives in Dallas. He makes his home in Dallas. Yeah, Pollard, there we go. It took me a while to figure it out. Because I ain't going to lie to you. But no, they should have paid Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry, from Florida, spent a decade almost in Tennessee, yet his home's in Dallas. It was no secret. He wanted to be in Dallas. He lives here. Jerry them didn't even give him a sniff. You know what I mean? Didn't even give him a sniff. You know what I'm saying? Nothing. Then to watch what he's doing now in Baltimore, they should be sick. And then to hear Jerry talk about it in the media with these BS, weak, lame-ass excuses, like, bruh, well, we couldn't afford him. Man, he's getting paid. He's the 20th highest paid back in football right now, which is still criminal. We couldn't afford him. Bullshit. He doesn't fit our scheme. Bullshit. If Derrick Henry don't fit your scheme, the scheme's the problem. And I think Dan Orlovsky said that. You know what I mean? If you didn't sign Derrick Henry when he threw himself at you, Derrick Henry was throwing himself at Dallas. Man, look. If Derrick Henry doesn't fit what you want to do, for a team that hasn't run the ball well in 3 seasons? 4 seasons? When's the last time Dallas has been a dominant run team? For that team to turn down, man, look, that's just one of the many things wrong with the Cowboys, be that as it may. But yeah, man. But no, the Steelers defense now, we definitely playing good ball. We've still got some holes, man. And I can't wait. I think after the bye week is when we'll get Cam Sutton back into the lineup. And we definitely need some stability at that nickel cornerback position. Now, Beanie Bishop is an undrafted rookie. He had 2 interceptions. He had his best game of the year. He had 2 interceptions in that game against Ron and the Jets last week. But outside of that game, and no disrespect to him, he's an undrafted rookie. So I'm not saying this is his expectation, but he's been getting honey roasted, boy. He's been getting filleted on national TV. You know what I mean? The Colts game, that Cowboys game. I mean, he's definitely a soft target, man, in our secondary, and teams are taking advantage. But like I said, he's an undrafted free agent rookie who was unexpectedly was thrust into the starter role from day one. So, you know what I mean? Like I said, I mean, what's his expectation? That's why I can't go too hard on him, because he ain't supposed to be here. He's defying odds by being here. You know what I mean? Let alone starting out the gate. So kudos to him, man, for doing what he can do. And especially with the game he put on, man, last week. 2 interceptions on Aaron Rodgers. One of them almost returned for a pick six. Had a big tackle for loss in that game. So he's doing his thing, man. But Cam Sutton's going to be back, I think, after week 8, man. So he's coming back, and I can't wait to see what we do there. Now, when we get the full strength, I mean, yeah, it's going. We ain't gonna lay down. You know what I'm saying? We ain't gonna lay down. PQ gonna be fired up for that game. You know what I'm saying? He gets to go back against his former team. He's on the other side of that line now, so he's gonna be fired up and juiced up for that game as well. So, and those games are always slobber knockers, man. So I of course can't wait to see that when we get there. But before we get ahead of ourselves, we got business to handle on Monday night, man. We got Big Nation business to handle on Monday night. Giants on the road in Pittsburgh Monday night. I'm not going to lie. I almost put 40 points on this one, man. I almost put 40 on this game. I almost did it. But you know what I'm saying? I stay respectful. 30-13 is where I went with this one, man. This is another game where I could have said a lot to a little. I really think, now outside of Dexter Lawrence is let me tell you how special Dexter Lawrence is, for one. He's about 340 pounds, plays nose tackle. Leading the league in sacks. He got 9 sacks, playing 0 and 1 tech. You know what I mean? Playing 1 tech. You know what I'm saying? Eating double teams all day and still getting there to break your quarterback's back, man. That's a special dude. And honestly, our offensive line for the Steelers is still overall one of the weaker units of our team, honestly. I mean, our receiving core is definitely not as talented as I want it to be. You know what I mean? But that offensive line is another consistent issue for us to this point in the season. And we're still without our standout rookie center, Zach Frazier. Now, the guy who's been filling in for him has been playing pretty decent. But this is a matchup where I want all my A1 horses in this one. And so having Zach Frazier in this one, I think would have went a lot further to help me feel a lot better about the problem that is Dexter Lawrence in this one. So Dexter Lawrence could definitely wreck this game, man. He's right there in the middle of that defense. He can wreck this game on both sides, man, rushing and passing. He can essentially shut down the run game if he's getting off and unblockable and having a day. And like I said, he's the league's leader in sacks at 340 pounds from the nose tech. You know what I'm saying? So he can really dominate this game, especially with our offensive line being, not the most stout unit on our team. But honestly, man, I think if we find a way to not let Dexter Lawrence wreck this game, I think Russ can have a day, man, against this Giants defense. I really do. I like what we saw in week 1. And here's the thing about it, man. I think week 1, especially the deeper into the game Russ got, the better he looked. But there's still some timing things that, you know what I mean, that can be improved upon, like some of the aiming points or launch points on the location on some of those passes that Russ Wilson threw last week. Now, they were completions. The tough kind of back shoulder to George Pickens on the right sideline. He had to juggle it like 3-4 times before he caught it. Like that pass, it should have been a yard further up the field, and maybe it's an easier catch for Pickens. The touchdown as well on the back shoulder. Maybe that pass can be a half yard adjusted further up the field. You know what I mean, just to make it maybe a smoother catch. But be that as it may, man, these are things that are just gonna continue to get smoothed out and worked out. As we get more experience with the live bullets firing. You know what I'm saying? And so I think this is another game, another week in which Russell Wilson in this offense, specifically this passing offense, man, where they continue to grow and put together back-to-back good performances, man. I think we're going to score points in this one. I really do. And I think defensively, we should have a pretty solid day. This Giants offense is abysmal, led by the $40 million man, Danny Dimes. You know what I'm saying? But this offense is abysmal. Our defense, and this is another thing too, man. I think this game has a chance, man. I hate talking like this. I don't want to jinx it. This could be a dominant game, man. This could be a dominant game, man. There was a part of me that wanted Russ to put up 40. 37 in his first week, 40 in his second week, man. I'm just saying. But I think we have a chance to get up there, man. I think 30 is the low point. I think if I had to give y'all a range, man, 30 to 40 points, I think 30 is the bottom number for the points I think we're going to score Monday night, man. But a lot to a little, man. I think we should have success on both sides of the ball. And I anticipate going into the bye week, man. After this, we get our bye week, chance to try to get our minds right, because the back half of this season for my Steelers is brutal. So we definitely need this one, man, to keep momentum going keep momentum going as we go into this bye week, man, to get ready for that second half of the season. My fault, trying to catch up on these comments as well, man. Shout out to my dog D-Dot, man. Said true, man. You know what's going on, man. Hey, Dre in the building, man. What's going on, man? He said that's still a special team. It's special. Hey, bro, I'm telling you, bro. We'll block a kick or two now. Field goal, punt, don't matter. I think 3 weeks in a row, we've blocked one. And last week, we blocked two. They called one back on Minka. Then, of course, we get that weak-ass apology from the league. Like, hey, our bad. It should have been called back. It was a legitimate block. It should have been 2 block kicks last week. But we still got the one for sure. That's 3 weeks in a row. And Keandre, you know what, bro? This might, bro, it's not going to surprise me at all. We block a punt in this one. I can definitely see a block punt in this one as well. So, yeah, that special teams unit is balling, man, especially those blocking units for sure. Then Sis in the building, man, she's got the score. She said 24-10. Okay, yeah. I ain't gonna lie. I think we're gonna score some points. I think this gonna be a 30 ball, man. I ain't gonna lie. I think it's gonna be a 30 ball. That 4-man block, man, exactly. Yeah, it was 4 dudes that looked like they got a finger on that block kick last week for sure. For sure. Yeah, man, I can't wait for Monday night. But hey, and matter of fact, I mean, hey, that's Monday night, man. That's it. That's all. That's it. That's all, man. That's it. That's all. That's every game. We went through them all, man. So now, y'all better catch me while the getting is good. Now, if y'all got something to say, you better say it now. Forever hold your peace now, because I ain't got no more games to talk about. And it's about to be 11:30. Y'all got about 30 minutes to get yourselves real comfortable. Lock in. Find something for your wife and kids to do. Find your favorite spot on your favorite couch. Turn your favorite team on your favorite TV. Have your favorite cold adult beverage quickly at hand and get ready to lock in and enjoy this football Sunday, man. Y'all know what's going on. My dog Miles said that they're going to goose at the G-Man. Dog, I ain't going to lie, dog. I entertained it, bro. I did. I think this going to be ugly, dog. I think this going to be ugly in the best way. 35-3. You know what I mean? 42-6. I really think we're going to put up some points. I think Russ really going to put up some points, dog, on that defense. And I think our defense, I definitely think, in my mind, I definitely think we're going to block a punt. I think we get a defensive score, or defenses or a special team score off a block punt. I'm looking for TJ to get back in the backfield, man. Team's been doing a lot to you know what I'm saying, slow TJ down. You know what I mean? But man, no, I think this is a game in which we can see TJ and Alex Highsmith, man, because Andrew Thomas, the left tackle for the Giants, he's out with season-ending foot surgery. So Andrew Thomas is out on that left side. The right side is soft. Whoever's over there is you know what I'm saying? The right side is soft anyway. You know what I'm saying? So I think we could definitely get home today with some pressure between Highsmith and Watt. I definitely think this is a game, man. We fool around, block a punt. You know what I mean? I think Russ in that offense is still going to cook. Like, man, I'm telling you, man, I think this is going to be a big one, dog. I ain't going to lie to you. Hey, my dog D-Dot said he's sipping on that VSOP. All right. See, I'm not really. All Now, what you talking? You talking Hennessy, or what you take? I'm not personally, bro. I've never really been a big Hennessy fan. You know what I mean? Like if I am drinking Hennessy, I do prefer it to be, you know what I'm saying, the VSOP. You know what I mean? But I'm just never really been a big Hennessy guy, man. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. I'll be sipping a little bourbon. You know what I mean? Little whiskey. Yeah, okay, yeah. I figured it was that Henny's. The Henny. Yeah, I figured it was that Henny, man. I just never really been a big Henny guy. I ain't gonna lie, man. I ain't been a big Henny guy. I just never have been, man. I ain't gonna hold you. My dog Keanu said the Chiefs perfect kingdom. Yeah, I ain't gonna lie, man. Y'all playing in Kansas City West today, man. Vegas might as well be Kansas City West. I don't expect y'all to have much trouble. I was talking earlier to the chat. Y'all undefeated, but what's crazy, the last team to beat y'all was the Raiders, which is crazy with Aiden O'Connell. Remember, Aiden O'Connell didn't even throw a pass in the second half, and they still found a way to beat y'all. That's crazy. My dog Miles said, will Colorado be ranked? That's a good question, dog. That's a good question, man. Vandy was ranked 25, but they beat Alabama when Alabama was ranked number 1 the week after Alabama beat Georgia. So Vandy jumped into that top 25, and they was at 25, but they just lost. Vandy just lost to Texas, who's ranked number 5 now, but that was a close game. They only lost by 3, but you're 25 and you still do take a loss at home, even if it was a quality opponent. It's hard to say you're going to stay at 25 coming off of a loss. So I would expect them to fall. I don't know if they do get in, maybe they are the new ranked 25 team. But I mean, the thing about it is, I'm trying to think of like what would be considered their signature win this point in the season. Because they got spanked by Nebraska, and then we just saw Nebraska get spanked by no, they didn't get spanked, but they just lost to Ohio State. So that wouldn't they didn't get spanked, but they got spanked by Nebraska. They went in as 2 touchdown underdogs to UCF on the road and dominated that game. But I think UCF just took a loss as well. I don't know if this is the week they get ranked. Honestly, man, no, I'm not. I would like if Colorado's slides into that top 25. If they slide in at 25, I wouldn't be mad at that at all, man. So I hope so. I hope so, man. I definitely do. He said that's when he talk about, man, Colorado looked great against Cincinnati. Yeah, man. Yeah, I was talking about it a little earlier. But yeah, no, man. Travis Hunter ball, man. 9 for 153, 2 touchdowns. He had 4 pass breakups on defense. He almost had a pick, man. He was covering like a shallow cross, and was right in the back hip of the receiver. And then yeah, it's one of those things where he almost jumped one man and got it, but it looked like, I mean, it was a pass deflection, but it was this close to being a pick, man. He almost got him one last night on defense as well. But no, dominated on offense, man. 9 for 153, 2 tutties. So yeah, he's still balling, man. He said he took it back. He took it back? Who took what back? Oh, she said, I thought VSOP was Erkin Jerry. Hey, look. If y'all, the ones that know me, y'all know, hey, man, I ain't too good for Erkin Jerry, boy. Hey, me and Erk go way back, man. Hey, the VSOP, come on, man. The VSOP Erk that got me through a lot of days, man. I don't care what y'all say. Man. Blue tops, man. The VSOP Erk, man, come on, man. Hey, y'all can say what you want to. Hey, y'all can say what you want to. Me and that VSOP of the Erk. Hey, man. It is what it is, man. I ain't gonna lie. My dog D-Dot says the drink choice for the weekend. No, I mean, it's probably just me, bro. I'm in the minority. I just never really was a Hennessy guy, man. I don't know what it was. I drank Erk, Crown, or back when I was, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, Erk or Crown, you know what I'm saying? If I was drinking Brown back then. But then you know what I'm saying? I moved, then I was a tequila drinker for a long time. But now, man, I've been a whiskey drinker, man, bourbon specifically. I've been a whiskey bourbon drinker now for, man, these last like 2-3 years for sure, man. It's been my drink of choice for sure. For sure. Mom's really said she gonna have it. Yeah, I already knew. Mom's gonna keep a cold brew now. Mom's gonna keep a cold brew on deck. You can believe that. You can believe that. Mom said Nebraska should be ranked. I mean, they just took an L now. Well, no, see what it was. I think Nebraska, they just lost to Ohio State. It was a close game. It was a close game. It was a very questionable targeting in that game, dog. There's targeting rules in college is getting out of hand, dog. But you know what I mean? Like, it's getting out of hand, but there was a questionable targeting in that game for sure against Ohio State. But Dylan Raiola's been playing pretty good ball. They lost this one. They ended up losing by 4. He threw an interception and kind of sealed that game. But they got spanked last week, though, or 2 weeks ago now, I want to say. Now I got to check. I want to say they were playing they were playing good ball, but I think they just got spanked. Was it last week? Hold on, I'm going to tell you. I think somebody put real paws on Nebraska last week. I'm trying to remember who it was. Yeah, dog. Nah. Indiana dog walked Nebraska 56-7. Nah, I can't rank you with a. I can't. When you get 50 ball, you got a 50 ball on the resume. Nah, I can't rank you, dog. I ain't gonna lie. Not after getting 50 ball. They did just play a close game with Ohio State though. But man, they got that 50 ball against Indiana was ugly. Ooh, ugly. Sis said enjoy that beer, sugar. You know she will. Well, my dog Carrie said y'all can keep that headache juice. Die! He said Loud Packs and Chris Jones says all he's talking about. Hey man, whatever floats your boat, man. Hey, whatever floats your boat, dog. I ain't mad at you, man. Hey, come on, man. He said, hey, go ahead and pull out the Buffalo Trace for your dog and pull one up, man, for sure. And matter of fact, well, my go-to bourbon lately had been this red, if y'all interested, it was Redwood Empire, man, Pipe Dream. And like, man, I'm talking about like afford. It's like where I'm at, it's like $35. But man, it gets the job done, man. That's been my go-to. But I be talking to my liquor folks in the, you know what I'm saying, the dudes in the liquor store in the whiskey department. So I be letting them make me some recommendations and stuff. So I got a new little bottle over there that I'm still kind of breaking in. Got a new little bottle over there I'm still breaking in today. But yeah, man, you can't go wrong with Buffalo Trace. Can't go wrong. You know what I mean? Yeah, I ain't mad at you at all, man. And you know what? I think Buffalo Trace was one of the first bourbons I kind of broke in on too. Now that I say it, yeah, I think Buffalo Trace was one of the bourbons I kind of got my feet wet on when I started just sipping just bourbon neat. You know what I mean? But yeah, man. Keandre, man, you a fool, dog. Hey man, you getting headaches, man. You just drinking the wrong drink. That's all it is. You ain't found your drink yet, man. You can't be still drinking vodka. You know what I'm saying? You ain't still drinking goose to get you loose, is you? You still getting headaches, boy. You just ain't found the right one yet. You just ain't found the right drink yet, my boy. That's all it is. He said Buffalo stay on the bar. Yeah, man. Yeah, you got to, man. I like a good, you know what I'm saying? I like a good Buffalo Trace. I like a good Weller. You know what I'm saying? When I can get my hands on it. You know what I mean? My dog said if I followed the Wacket, Uncle Nearest was. And you know what? I'm glad you said that, dog. I haven't tried the Uncle Nearest yet. Like every time I go into the store, I tell myself I'm gonna grab the Uncle Nearest. You know what I'm saying? That Uncle Nearest, it's a bourbon, it's a black-owned bourbon that started like, I don't even know if it's been 10 years, dog. I think it's like, are they 5 years old? 5, 6 years or something like that? But Uncle Nearest, man, is like I said, black owned. This black lady, I think, is the like proprietor or owner. It's an interesting story behind it, man. I guess Uncle Nearest is the guy who was the black man who taught Jack Daniels how to make whiskey. Essentially, is that so? It's an interesting story or history behind that, man. You know what I'm saying? If y'all want to talk a little whiskey, you know what I'm saying? But man, I don't every time I go in there to get a bottle of Uncle Nearest, I see something else. I'm like, all right, hold on, let me try this real quick. Or you know what I'm saying? Or like I get talked into something, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, I'm glad you said that, man. I gotta quit playing I gotta quit playing it and give and try that Uncle Nearest, man. I definitely do. I tell you one of the reasons is like the liquor store that's right by my crib. The Uncle Nearest a little steep in there. It's a little pricey. And tell you the truth, the liquor store by my sister's crib is got it for a way better price. But see, like that's really what it be. I be at my store and I know it's like $15 cheaper at her store, so I just ain't bought it at my store. That's really what it is, bro. I ain't gonna lie to you. They hit me like for an extra like $15, $18 at mine, bro. I'm like, hold on, man. Hold on now. So yeah, so sister, while you're here, if you're listening, if you should so happen sometime this week to swing by your local neighborhood liquor store, grab something for your dog. But yeah, for sure, man. I'm gonna be sipping a little whiskey today, man. Enjoy myself for sure, man. Especially like I said, man, I got an easy Sunday, man. You know what I'm saying? The guys don't do nothing. The guys ain't on the field till tomorrow night, man. So it's gonna be a fun-filled, relaxed day of football for your dog, man. Sunday, fun day football for sure. For me, man. My dog Keanu said his boss had to drive that Pappy Van Winkle. Ooh. Ooh, yeah. Depending on what Pappy you had, boy, that Pappy get expensive, boy. Really expensive. Really, yeah. Them Pappies can get expensive, boy. I ain't had a Pappy. My pockets, the way my pockets are set up right now, I don't have a Pappy palate just yet. I don't have a Pappy palate just yet. But yeah, man. Now just drink a little water. Chase with a little water, man. Hydrate. You gotta hydrate. That's all it is. See, and that, you know what it was, kid? I just see you gotta crawl before you walk, man. You know what I'm saying? You gotta crawl before you walk. You know what I'm saying? Start slow. You know what I mean? Get you next time you also are trying to have a drink, get your old fashioned. You know what I mean? Get your old fashioned, break yourself in. You know what I mean? I used to get my old fashioned with makers, you know what I'm saying? Because makers still got a little bite to it, you know what I mean? But you can get something a little smooth, you know what I'm saying? Get your old fashioned, man. Get your grown man on. Get your grown man on. Yeah, you feel me? Yeah. Y'all ain't gonna lie, y'all look still have like, you know, like $48 or $50. They like 65 over here by me. Like, man, what they doing to me? See, that's why I can't get it at my liquor store. Yeah, they taxing me over here, player. They trying to tax a player over here. Come on, man. Come on, man. But yeah, man. Hey, look, hey, man. I appreciate y'all. Look, it's 11:40. It's 12 o'clock somewhere. It's time for me to go ahead and get myself together, man. Get myself situated. Get my grown man drink in hand and get ready to enjoy this football Sunday, man. So I know y'all gonna do the same. But yeah, man, I think it's what? We got 20 minutes till kickoff, till somebody's kickoff. So it's probably a good time, man, to close it on down, man. But before we do, shout out to the members in the building, man. Y'all know what's going on, man. It's time for that real member roll call, man. So look, it ain't no secret. We say the same thing every week. Feel free, say it along at home. Shout out to first one in the door today was Mom Dukes, man. Appreciate you, lady. Have a blessed show as always. Appreciate you. It always just make me feel good when you the first one in the door and in the chat, because sometimes you be letting these people, they be getting you. Sometimes you be number 3 and number 4 and make me wonder if you love your son. So appreciate you as always, man. Big cuz in the building, man. Appreciate your family as always. My dog Jeff came through and hollered at your dog, man. Flying that Eagles flag, man. Appreciate your homeboy. My dog Miles is in the building as well, man. You know what's going on with me, homeboy. Appreciate you as always. Sister's in the building. Appreciate you. She one of them members. D-Dot in the building as well. He know what's going on. He one of them members as well. Y'all know what's going on with the nation, man. Big Nation business in the building. And then, hold on, man. I'm looking for you. Hold on. I can't leave out my dog. Leave out my dog, Keandre, man. Holding it down for Chiefs Kingdom for sure. And then I'm looking for you. I'm looking. Damn. Here it is. If I forgot to say your name, damn, my bad. But charge it to my head and don't charge it to my heart. You know I'm thinking about you, big dog. Appreciate all the love, support as always, man. Love getting here, just talk about with y'all, man. Talk a little ball, talk a little whiskey. Ain't nothing more I can ask for, man. This is all I need to get my Sunday started. So I had fun. I enjoy it, man. I love y'all engaging in the chat. Love just having the avenue to just sit here and talk ball, man. And I know y'all feel the same way. That's why you're in here rocking with your dog, man. So, hey, I appreciate y'all. We appreciate each other. Y'all have fun. Y'all be safe. Enjoy yourselves. Drink responsibly out there. You feel me? Drink responsibly and tap back in with your dog on Wednesday night, man. We'll talk about where Willie was right, where Willie was wrong, and we'll recap all the exciting football action that we're going to see today, that we're going to see today. But until then, until Wednesday at 7 o'clock, peace. Y'all be easy, be smooth. Enjoy y'all weekend.